At the edge of the world, where the sea kissed the sky and waves roared against jagged cliffs, there stood an old lighthouse. Its light had guided sailors for over a century, preventing countless ships from crashing onto the rocks below. But in recent years, fewer ships sailed these waters, and the lighthouse, once a beacon of life, had grown silent. The keeper of the lighthouse was an elderly man named Elias. He had lived there for as long as anyone in the nearby village could remember. Though his hair was silver and his back slightly hunched, his eyes still gleamed with a spark of youth. People often wondered why he stayed. What kept him tending a light that no longer seemed to matter? One stormy night, as the wind howled and rain lashed against the windows, a knock echoed through the lighthouse door. Surprised, Elias opened it to find a young woman drenched from head to toe. Her name was Mira, and she had been caught in the storm while hiking the cliffs. "I didn't know anyone still lived here," she said, shivering as Elias wrapped her in a blanket. "Few do," Elias replied with a smile, "but someone must keep the light burning, even if no one is looking." Mira stayed the night, listening to the old man's stories about ships, storms, and the countless lives saved by the lighthouse's beam. Yet, despite his tales, she sensed something deeper, something he wasn't telling her. The next morning, as the storm cleared, Mira prepared to leave, but paused at the door. "Why do you stay here, Elias? Why keep a light burning for ships that no longer pass?" Elias hesitated, then gestured for her to follow. Together, they climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the lighthouse. As they reached the lantern room, Elias pointed out over the sea. "Do you see that island far in the distance?" Mira squinted. On the horizon, barely visible, was a small island shrouded in mist. "That's my home," Elias said softly. "Many years ago, I left it behind to come here, believing I could create a new life. But I never stopped longing for it. Every night when I light the lantern, I hope its beam will reach someone out there, someone who remembers me." Mira's heart ached at his words. "Do you think they're still waiting for you?" "I don't know," Elias admitted. "But whether they are or not, the light gives me hope, and as long as I have that hope, I'll keep it burning." Inspired by his resolve, Mira decided to stay a while longer, helping Elias with his daily tasks. Over time, they became close friends, sharing their dreams and fears. Mira, who had felt lost in life, began to find purpose in the simple act of tending the light. One evening, as the sun set and the lighthouse lantern flickered to life, a distant light flashed back from the island. Elias froze, his heart pounding in his chest. Mira saw the tears welling in his eyes and asked, "What is it?" "It's them," Elias whispered. "They've been waiting." Without hesitation, Mira said, "Then let's go." They prepared a small boat, and under the cover of night, set sail toward the island. The journey was treacherous, with waves crashing around them, but Elias's heart guided him forward. After hours of rowing, they finally reached the shore. Waiting on the beach was a small group of people, Elias's family and old friends, now aged like him. They embraced him warmly, their joy palpable. "We saw your light every night," one of them said. "We knew you hadn't forgotten us." Tears streamed down Elias's face as he realized that, though he had feared being forgotten, he had never truly been alone. His light had always been seen, always mattered, even when he doubted it. Sometimes we keep the light burning, not knowing if anyone notices. But the act of holding on, of shining despite the darkness, can be the very thing that brings us home. So ask yourself, what light in your life needs to keep shining, even when it feels unseen?